There's nothing inherently wrong with being introverted. There is probably there's different structures to personality, right? The MBTI says 16. There's many different ways to structure personality. Introvert, extrovert is one of them. I identify as an introvert my whole life. The more I heal, though, the more I see that it was largely an excuse. I don't do that because I'm an introvert. I don't enjoy that because I'm an introvert, etc. It's just a way to avoid facing pain or fear. I think sometimes an introvert is just a damaged extrovert, someone who, for whatever reason, received messages that they weren't able to communicate without being punished or without suffering some kind of pain after doing so. So they largely repressed and became fearful of direct and honest communication. They became fearful of being themselves because being yourself caused you pain. Being communicative caused you pain when you were young. So a lot of us just went inside in this very detailed, imaginative world that's full of repression and pain. This isn't inherently bad or wrong. Probably most of the world's most incredible creations, works of art, inventions, evolutions were designed by an introvert. But I think a lot of them suffered a lot to do so. The introvert is largely trapped inside this very fearful and painful world. For sure, there are some that claim to be happily introverted. I've heard of this, I've never really met any. The most healed people that I've met in my life don't really seem to label themselves as introverted or extroverted. If they're alone, they're fine. If they're with people, they're fine. Maybe there's still some kind of thing that needs to be fed, like a hunger for information, an analytical tendency that could be labeled as introversion. But the whole needing to be alone for long periods of time, I think it just comes from a damaged person. If you're being alone to avoid people, right? And I did this a lot. I still do at times. But it is an excuse. Most of these introverts are just damaged extroverts. But that isn't to say extroverts aren't damaged, just in a different way. Humans are naturally, evolutionarily, social creatures. We are designed to express ourselves and get along with our tribe, create things together, protect each other. But we're also designed to fight, to figure out who the weak one is, who the strong one is. Status is such a fundamental part of all animals, especially humans. Dogs, you see it. Lobsters, like what Jordan Peterson talks about. It's fascinating. So, a human who says that they are unable to or unwilling to compete in this social hierarchy is damaged, is not functioning healthily. But I believe even introverts who say they're damaged are always pining for status to some sense, in some degree. There's somewhere in their lives that they are proud of whatever they do. They have a skill, might be playing video games, reading, whatever it is. There's something that they're proud of, and then people ask them questions about because they're so good at it. I've never met one that doesn't have these skills, right? To some degree, society today, we don't need social skills anymore. They were very essential for much of evolution because there wasn't really anything else. But now we have these skills that we can impress others with, that we don't really need social skills to get some kind of status or power, right? We can still get money and status and power without them. Look at some of the richest people on earth today. Pretty much just mega nerds, no social skills. It's amazing, really, how things have changed. But I think the value of this whole conversation comes from being willing to see where this is an excuse. If you're saying to yourself that I'm an introvert, so I don't do those sort of things, maybe you're just kind of covering up some fear that you have. Fear of expressing yourself, fear of being seen, fear of being found out, fear of people seeing your inner insecurity, your inner sense of not being enough. These all plague most introverts. The more we can grieve this stuff and start to heal, the more we can face our fears and learn to set boundaries and communicate who we are and be honest with everyone, the more we can become the extroverts we always were. Thanks, guys.